Hello, this is Laura Scala, and in this training session I'm going to be talking about how to add a featured content slider to your blog post and also how to set up the social media share settings when you're creating a blog post on your state webpage. So first off, what is a featured content slider? Basically, it's this photo that shows up above the title of your video or of your blog post. I think that this is a really nice way of setting up your blog. It really gives a nice teaser for that post specifically. And then I would encourage you to just do a short teaser here above the flip, which we talked about in one of the previous training sessions, and then put the rest of this below the flip so that it just gives a little bit more of a kind of crisp look to the blog. Let me show you an example of this on our national blog, because that's really what we do across the board. I know at the state level it kind of varies a bit more, but I would encourage you to follow this model because as you can see here, these photos are all above the flip, or they're all the featured contents sliders is how we upload those. And then we just have the title and then just a short teaser / description at the beginning to get people's attention, and then the read more button. And it makes it look much more cohesive this way, I think, as opposed to having more text above here or putting these photos there for some of them and not for all of them. So I would really encourage you to follow that same format. It, again, just gives a nice clear look to it. So here you can see on this post on the Texas page, there is a featured content slider here, but not on this post because that's the title there. So let me just show you, I'll go into this post, and just for the sake of this example I'm going to actually add this photo here that they have currently in the body of the blog post and make that a content or a featured content slider, and you'll see kind of the difference. So if you go into edit this page when you're working on the blog post, here, let's see, we want to go to, oh, no, it's under settings for whatever blog post you're working on, and you can do this when you're creating them. You go to featured content sliders. You're going to choose a file from your computer, and let's see, I'm going to find that image. It's here. Okay, and then you want to just give it a label. It doesn't really matter what it is. This is just a label for behind the scenes. It won't show up on the page. And then here for the page to feature, you're really looking for this descriptor here, which is the slug for the page. So I'm just going to type that in. It's Texas lead, and it's popping up here. And make sure that that is the same as this one here. Otherwise it won't work. And then you just click Save Featured Content Slider. And, okay, so I'm having some problems with the size of the file there. File size must be less than 2 megabytes. Image must be less. Well, let me try just adding a different one then. That should have worked. Well, let's do this image instead. Okay, for some reason they're saying that this image is too large. I don't know why that would be the case, but let me see if I can do a different one. Okay, so I just selected an image of, I believe it's the Texas Capitol that I had saved on my computer for this example. And I'm just going to click the Go Live button here so that you can see the live page. And now you can see here's a picture of the Texas Capitol in the content slider position. Now, the second thing I want to show you is how to set it up so that when you share it on social media, it will appear with a photo. So for example, if we go to Facebook right now, I'm going to go ahead and guess that this will not show up with anything. Right, so here, oh, it actually is pulling in. Well, that's awesome. Let me see here. So maybe they've already set this one up with one. I did not check this ahead of time. So typically what will happen, I guess for some reason it's actually pulling it up here, which is nice. But oftentimes you'll see that when you share blog posts, no photos will show up in this area, and it's just kind of like a blank picture of our website, which doesn't look good. It's like a gray placeholder. So in this case it did show up, but generally it won't. So the way you can set that so that it predetermines what image shows up, or for this one it looks like it's pulling random photos from the Texas page, which is okay, but if you want to be able to set it up so that it's a specific image when it's sharing, you just go under settings to social media. This is the default post of what's going to show up, which you can see it shows up here. Texas declares it will lead the nation for COS. And then let's see. This is showing up, this Texas legislator is pre-filed for Convention State's application for Article 5, yada yada, is showing up there because that is what is in this area. So you want to put the title here and then the excerpt below it in this section. And then here you can choose the file that you want to show up. So I'm going to choose the same image that I put as the featured content slider. Save the social media settings, and then you'll be able to see that now here we have that same image, so that will be what will now appear when it's shared on Facebook. And that is how you set up an image. I would really encourage you to do this for any posts that you create, because it will really make for a much cleaner appearance when you're sharing a blog post. Because again, oftentimes if you don't set this, Facebook will pull some random image that really does not look professional, or it won't pull any image at all. So that's how you set up the social media option and then the featured content slider. And I hope that this will kind of clarify that whole process. And again, I would just encourage you to do that consistently for all your blog posts so that it really gives your blog a nice cohesive feel. And that is all for this training segment.